Welcome back for another video. My name is Gordon Frayne, and today we're diving into a price prediction for Injective. Injective is a project that has gotten massive hype around it over the past year and has made some significant gains in the past 12 to 18 months. We're going to be diving into all of it in today's video, but as always, before we jump into the topic, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button below if you enjoy the content. Hit that subscribe button as well. We're closing in on our first 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean the world if you subscribed, and hit that bell notification icon so you can get notified every time we drop a new video. We've got multiple price predictions coming every single week, along with a whole host of other video content. So you're going to want to get notified when they drop so you can stay on top of the rapidly evolving crypto space and hit your crypto goals. So diving into our Injective price prediction, as always on the channel, when we do these types of videos, we do look at the currency through the lens of these 5 pillars for fundamental analysis, narratives, technical analysis, looking at their team, and finally the tokenomics before making our price prediction in the second half of the video. So make sure you stick around until the end. So from a fundamental level or fundamental perspective, what is Injective? Well, Injective is a layer 1 blockchain protocol built for the finance space in particular. And again, what they try and are aiming to achieve is to create a scalable, efficient layer 1 blockchain that serves as the basis for the future of finance on Web 3. And similar to many of the other layer 1 blockchains, what Injective are trying to do is essentially solve the problem of the blockchain trilemma. And again, if you've seen other videos on our channel, you might have heard us talking about the fact that with the blockchain trilemma, it's kind of this problem that all these layer 1's blockchains try to solve, in that the trilemma between decentralization, scalability, and security. The argument is that often blockchains will have to have a trade-off on one of these 3 areas. You know, with Bitcoin, for example, the scalability is debatable given the fact that there's only so many transactions that can be processed per second. But every new layer 1 blockchain like Ethereum and then Solana and now Injective, for example, is aiming to create an even more scalable, even more secure, and even more decentralized blockchain layer 1 solution. So looking at some of the numbers on Injective, we can see just some of the numbers they highlight on their website. We've got, over 576 million on-chain transactions to date, 0.8 second block time, and an average transaction cost less than 1 cent. INJ is the governance token that is part of the Injective blockchain. Injective is governed by a global community through its native asset, INJ. INJ enables Web3 community members to participate in various activities such as approving proposals for protocol upgrades, staking for rewards, participating in burn auctions, and much, much more. So when it comes to the narratives surrounding Injective, we've got a few things that we're going to touch on. Firstly, of course, it is a layer 1 blockchain, so it's going to be part of that layer 1 narrative when we see it making moves during the bull run. DeFi is another area that they're trying to hone in on, particularly given the fact that they want developers using Injective to create best-in-class financial apps. However, when we look at the DeFi space, we can see that Injective is still only the 54th largest chain when it comes to total value locked in the DeFi space, with just under $60 million in total value locked on the Injective chain in DeFi specifically. But they are continuing to build out capabilities for DeFi and different Web3 modules. One of the other narratives that we have here for Injective is interoperability. Again, what they are trying to do is create this solution that is cross-compatible and interoperable with other blockchains and other layer 1 solutions. A few of the ones that are mentioned here are Ethereum, Cosmos, and Solana. So creating, a frictionless, interoperable communication protocol is what they are trying to do. Finally, revolutionizing smart contracts. Smart contracts is another narrative here. We know how powerful smart contracts can be, especially with how we've seen them used in the Ethereum ecosystem. If Injective is able to create a more efficient, cost-effective smart contract with their blockchain, then they will naturally get a lot more users actually interacting with the chain as a result. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. So there's some of the narratives that we're kind of seeing with Injective. If we zoom in and look at the price action here for Injective over the past couple of years, they did only have their mainnet launch in November of 2021. And prior to that, I believe they had an ERC20 token representing the INJ. However, after the mainnet launch in November 2021, obviously that was right at the kind of peak of the last bull cycle. So, we didn't see huge amounts of a price accumulation, but, pretty much from November, December that year onwards, we entered a bear market for the entire market, not just for Injective. And we did see those prices continue to fall downwards all the way through 2022 until we got to a bottom price of around $1.13 in July of 2022. However, all that being said, since July 2022, we did see a good bounce. We did see a small retracement, but since those July 2022 lows, Injective is up over 2,398% since the middle of 2022. Pretty much similar numbers since the beginning of 2023, considering it did hit those lows, or close to $1.13 again at the beginning of 2023. However, you'll notice that it was putting in all-time highs above $48 just a few weeks ago in January 2024. We're currently sitting at a price of $28, and that 2,398% is up from $1.13 to only today's prices. It was up more than 3,000% when it was hitting those all-time highs of $48 just a few weeks ago. So we are very much on this upwards price discovery journey for Injective, because these are the all-time highs of INJ, not just this cycle, but all-time highs overall since their mainnet launch. And because we're in this upward price discovery movement, there's still lots of room for growth to the upside, and we will continue to see it putting in new higher highs over the course of the next 12 to 18 months, in my opinion. Another quick note here, it's not to do with technical analysis, but just the fact that staking on Injective is quite lucrative. You can see that average reward rates are about 14.65% for staking the INJ token. You can head over to stakingrewards.com to try and do some calculations yourself. But just a quick note to say that, compared to the likes of Ethereum and Solana, there are some very interesting reward rates that you can lock in for Injective, especially if you're holding it for the long run. Anyway, you may as well be earning that extra 14% per year APR if you're in it for the long run. Looking at the Injective team, again, some very intelligent people behind the project here. I listened to an interview with Eric Chen earlier today. He seems like a very intelligent individual. Again, I'm not hugely familiar with a lot of the people here behind the project, but of course, they seem to be very intelligent people trying to solve a very important problem and creating a truly scalable layer 1 blockchain that can realistically compete with the likes of Ethereum and Solana when it comes to scalability and transactions per second. So, moving on to the tokenomic side of things, this is where, for me, Injective gets very, very exciting. So, we are obviously sitting at a current price today of just over $28, as I mentioned, and you can see that we were putting in those market cap all-time highs of about 4.5 billion a few weeks ago when we were seeing Injective hitting those $48 levels. Now, again, I said I was getting excited, and the reason for that is because Injective's circulating supply today is currently sitting at 93,400,000 Injective. But you'll also see that the total supply is only 100 million Injective, meaning that we're already over 93% vested when it comes to the amount of circulating supply on the market versus the total supply. So we only have 6.6% of all Injective left to come into circulation over the course of the next number of years. And again, this is very bullish for me because even though we've seen a lot more Injective enter the market over the past 12 to 24 months, as we'll see in a moment, because we now have pretty much, the vast majority of Injective already in the circulating supply, it means that we're not going to continue to get diluted very much further, which means that price action is likely to continue to squeeze upwards as we continue to go through the remainder of this bull market cycle. So when we look at the historical snapshot when INJ token, and this was actually prior to the mainnet launch, but when it was putting in those previous all-time highs, we can see here back in April 2021, we can see it only had a market cap of 477 million, but we could see the circulating supply was also much lower at only 24 million INJ tokens. So since April 2021 to today in April of 2024, 3 years later, we've gone from 24 million tokens to 93.4 million tokens in circulation, which is a 288% increase. Now, that, don't get me wrong, that is a huge increase in circulating supply. However, for me, the saving grace is that the fact that we are now pretty much 95% vested. We have only 6.6 million tokens left to come into circulation, which is only 6.6% of the entire supply that can come into the market over the next few years. So again, just looking at that snapshot in summary, market cap all-time highs in April 2021 were 477 million. The current market cap is 2.6 billion. So already we are over 5 times the previous all-time high market cap. The circulating supply at the previous all-time high in April 21 was 24 million. Our current circulating supply is 93 million, which is that 288% increase. But for our calculation and thinking about how many tokens for Injective are going to be in the circulating supply by the middle to end of 2025, what we're going to say is an estimate of around 95 million tokens in circulation by that time. The final thing we're going to look at here is Injective market cap dominance versus the rest of the cryptocurrency market. And as you can see, currently today we're sitting at a 0.12% market dominance. Now, earlier in the year and it was actually at the very end of December, start of January 2024, when we were getting very close to those Injective all-time highs, it was sitting at a much higher market dominance of 0.22%. This was its market dominance all-time high. And again, I think this bodes very well for Injective because, it can definitely get back to these market dominance levels in the coming months and possibly, very much higher, given the fact that we still have a lot of this bull run to still work through. So lots of positive sentiment there. Obviously, we've seen a drop off in the past few weeks, but we've seen a drop off with the entire market, and we've seen Bitcoin dominance trending higher in the past few weeks as well throughout February, March, and now April 2024. But lots of room for Injective to really kick higher than 0.22% once we truly hit altcoin season. So again, this market dominance number is important because it's another variable that we have to plug in to our price prediction. So let's dive into it. As always, we're going to give you a bear case, base case, and bull case scenario for a price prediction for Injective. And as always, we do have to make certain assumptions here when it comes to plugging in some of these variables. So, the reason we spent the past 10 minutes looking at some of the fundamentals is to get a better understanding of the project, of the people, of the tokenomics, so that we can make our best guess and estimate when it comes to plugging in some of those variables into our equation here. So in our bear case scenario, what we're saying is that the total crypto market cap could reach a peak around $4 trillion US dollars. If Injective can get back up to that 0.2% dominance level, which I think is very, very easy for it to attain, that would give Injective an overall market cap of around $8 billion US dollars. Then dividing that $8 billion US dollars by 95 million Injective tokens that we estimate to be in circulation by middle to end of 2025 gives us a price target prediction of $84.21 in our bear case scenario. That is still a 3x from today's prices of around $28. Moving on to our base case scenario, what we're saying is that the total crypto market cap could reach a peak around $6 trillion US dollars. If Injective can perform even higher and get to dominance levels around 0.3% market dominance, that would give it an 18 billion US dollar market cap. And again, dividing 18 billion by the 95 million INJ tokens we estimate to be in circulation gives us a price target of around $189.47 for Injective at the peak of the next bull cycle. That is a 6.76x return on investment from today's prices in our base case scenario. Moving on finally to our most bullish scenario, which is our bull case price prediction. What we're saying is that the total crypto market cap could reach a peak around $8 trillion US dollars. What we're saying for this one, actually, I forgot to update the number, but we said that INJ could get to a 0.4% market dominance. That would give it a $32 billion market cap overall. And then dividing that by 95 million Injective tokens gives us a US dollar price target of $336.84, which is a 12x from today's prices. So that is our bear case, base case, and bull case scenario. For me, Injective ticks a lot of boxes here when it comes to being a truly scalable solution geared towards the finance space, a blockchain built for finance, as they say on their website itself. You know, they're at the intersection of a few very exciting narratives, but for me, the real strength here is now with the tokenomics, because we have, you know, pretty much 95% of the entire supply already in circulation. We're not going to see large amounts of token dilution in the next few years. And what that means is the price action is going to squeeze upwards if we continue to see the demand from the buy side, because we're not going to be getting large amounts of dilution. There's lots of room for upside. We're already seeing upwards price discovery when we look at the chart. And, you know, it's going to be very exciting to see what kind of highs Injective can put in over the course of the next 12 to 18 months as we move through the bull cycle. So let us know in the comments below, are you bullish on Injective yourself? Are you holding Injective as part of your portfolio? What price do you think Injective is going to by the peak of the bull cycle? Drop us a comment to let us know below. As always, if you enjoyed the content, please smash that like button on the way out. Hit the subscribe button as well. We're on the road to our first 1,000 subscribers and we're getting very, very close. It would mean the world if you subscribed, and hit that bell notification icon so you can get notified when we drop other price prediction videos just like this one. And we're pretty much dropping videos on the channel every single day, so you're going to want to get notified to stay up to date and hit your crypto goals. As always, we'll catch you in the next one.